What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Patriot Specialized. Today's episode got a little switcheroo. At the end of last episode, I told you I was heading to Iowa. That load actually ended up going to Minnesota. But we're going to get that truck chassis up there, get it delivered. Then we're going to pick up an excavator headed to Allentown, Pennsylvania. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Right across these plains and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs, fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all. Hell, it's our way of life. We're the last of the cowboys, the giddy up gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete, it's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James. Modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys.
All right. So, the end of last episode, I told you guys that I was picking up a truck chassis to go to Iowa. That ended up canceling at like 5 o'clock in the evening. They ended up pushing that thing a couple weeks to the middle of February. So what ended up happening there was they had another chassis that was going to Dodge Center, Minnesota. So I ended up going in, grabbing that instead of the Iowa, and rolled out on Sunday to get that thing delivered Monday morning, hoping to switch this around and make a little bit of money this week. Hoping to get my timing a little bit better. Didn't work. Doesn't appear to be working. But what I did want to say is on the way back from delivering that plate up there, on the way to go pick up that truck chassis, I stopped in Michigan to grab some fuel, and the guy next to me comes walking over and he says, hey man, I like watching your channel. So that was cool. I ran into I think he said his name was Jim. I apologize if that's not right. I apologize, but I think he said his name was Jim. They call him the Rookie. He said when they're not mad at him, they call him the Rookie. But it was super cool meeting you, dude. Good having a little bit of conversation there on the radio while we were rolling out. But he was going one way, he was going north, I was going south, so we didn't get to talk for very long. But it was super cool meeting you. I really appreciate you coming over and saying that you watch the channel. It's always cool to run into somebody that watches the channel. Kind of makes all these videos worth it. So I appreciate that. That was super cool. Got down there, got that picked up, went home for the weekend, left out on Sunday, ran up to Dodge Center, Minnesota, and that's where we're at right now. Monday morning, made it to delivery up in Minnesota. You guys might be hearing that digging in the background. That's just my nothing wrong with Beast. That's just my air dropped. Because just backed in, dropped my air so I can disconnect this trailer. But there's a couple goofy things about this delivery, but we're going to go get this thing taken off the trailer, and I will show you the goofy things while we're doing it. My new boots. The only bad thing about new boots, they are hard to put on. All right, disconnect these hydraulic lines since we don't need to use the flip. Now we can fire it up. So the interesting thing here, those guys are funny how they put theirs on, is with this particular customer, we have to put the exhaust tips on the exhaust. You can see right up there, there's no tip on it. That tip is bungee cord zip tied right there. Those ones right there, they put them on. That one's facing forward. That's pretty funny. So what I do is I bring along my ratcheting wrenches here. We figure out what size we need, and then we'll climb our happy butt up there, put that thing on. Hopefully we don't die. Luckily enough today, there's no snow or anything all over the back of these. Normally, this is all covered in snow and crap in the winter. So I think today it's gonna be a little easier. 15 millimeter. I think that's on there right, but whatever. Now we're gonna grab our paperwork, we'll go inside, give it to them. We can come back out and get hooked back up to our trailer. Yeah, that's that. Now I went in and gave my paperwork, put it on the desk, and they were all sitting over at the picnic table, so I'm assuming they're either on lunch or on break or something. So now we just wait till they come out and start walking around the thing, checking it. They should have the paperwork in our hand, and then we'll get our paperwork and we'll get out of here. Well, hopefully, well, they're coming out right now with some paperwork. I don't know, we'll see if they start checking over mine, but hopefully I called on a bunch of loads this morning. I got one that looks promising, excavator down in Iowa going out to Allentown, Pennsylvania that I'm working on, getting the carrier set up so that we can haul it. Hopefully that works out and we're all good. So, be right back. What's happening, brother? What do you guys look for when you're inspecting these?
Damage from you guys throwing chains,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Factory fucked up.
I'm just curious if there's something I should look for when I get there to pick it up and say, hey, that ain't gonna work.
If we see anything that looks fucked up, I'd question it then, because if we find it, it's going back on you.
Yeah, right. Right.
You didn't have it noted. At least at that point, it's documented that it was that way when it got.
Yeah, right, right.
But a lot of times, guys will just wrap, they'll run their chains here, and they'll wrap them right around all the airlines and fucking tear them up.
Idiots.
That's the biggest thing on your guys' end that we find.
Yeah, right. Chain damage. Yeah. All right, man. We'll see you next time. Have a good day. All right, so that excavator ended up working out, like I was talking about there. We got that all settled up, and I went and picked up. The interesting thing about this particular, I've never heard of this before, and I'm interested in how this happens, but when I went to pick it up on the rate agreement, it said call customer before going in, so I did, and the customer's like, no man, that thing left on Friday. I'm like, what? So I called the broker that I got the load from, and it ended up that somehow this load ended up double brokered. Somebody picked it up on Friday, but it was his customer, so he had contacted that person and they were taking it back. So he told me, he said, man, that thing will be back there in 20 minutes, so don't worry about it. And it was. I got there about 2 hours later. I was about 2.5 hours away. I got there 2 hours later and it was sitting there. So I'm not really sure how that happens, but I'm really glad that he got it worked out, and I got this thing on the trailer right now. So I figured, I'm sitting here waiting for Ohio curfew. Ohio will let you run a half hour before sunrise, and it's creeping up on that, but it's still pretty dang dark. So sitting here waiting on curfew. Hopefully, I want to show you this load real quick because I'm kind of in a hurry. I kind of want to get this thing delivered as early as I can today and have any chance of being able to pick something up today. It's not looking real good. It looked like it's going to end up being tomorrow before I can reload, but which kind of sucks. I'll end up having 2 days in this one load, but we're gonna see what happens here. But so I wanted to jump out and show you this load now. Hopefully you'll be able to see it, and we will get on the road and get this thing to delivery. Here we go. All right, so this is what we got right here. Cat 320D excavator. This guy here's got a pretty good looking load on too. This oversized guy's parked in the back of the parking lot here. We got a 320D Cat excavator on. What I did for securement on this thing weighs 47,000 pounds. So the way I did the axle weights, I ended up running it pretty far to the back. Ended up pulling it pretty far to the back. Got to use the boom well finally. Got that thing tucked in there nice and tight. Got our bucket well and the boom trough. Got that thing tucked in there. That's one of the big advantages. Right there is the big advantage to having that center cutout in the back of our trailers. We can tuck these excavator arms in, and we got that height down. We are way below legal on this thing. I don't think we're not even 13 foot tall, so we're way below legal height, which is the major advantage to having that trough back there. So, man, my word retrieval's bad today. So, what do they do for securement on this thing? Again, we're 47,000 pounds. I did my normal binder from the edge of the track to the trailer, edge of the track to the trailer. Then I hooked a chain on the outside, brought it down, did the same thing on both sides. One chain, two binders there. So we get credit for two chains right there. Obviously got our flags marking the widest portion of the load. And on the back, I did the same exact thing off the tracks. So we get another two chains there. And then we got our one boom, or one chain coming across the arm of the excavator, which is required by DOT. In this particular case, kind of dumb. Like, the whole idea with this chain is so that this thing can't, for whatever reason, if it decides to rotate going down the road, there's no way it can do that. Well, there's no way it can do that. It's going to hit the trailer before it does anything. So this chain, even though it's required by DOT, that's the reason it's there. It's pointless. It's not doing anything other than giving us some additional securement. What's that thing weigh, man?
I say 30,000.
Like 30? That's it?
Yeah.
This guy's out here doing the same thing I'm doing, checking his securement before he takes off here. Probably doing the same thing I'm doing, waiting on his dang curfew. It's dark to lift. That's a good look. Where'd that come from?
I picked it up out of Newark, New Jersey.
Newark? Yeah. I was looking at a couple loads out of Newark.
That's one of you.
This might be one of the ones I was looking at. Like,
Probably not. Going out to Canada.
no, probably not then. Yeah. Where at in Canada?
Right over the border, Detroit, Windsor.
Oh, over to Windsor. Yeah. How tall is that thing?
I'm going to measure it again. I was like 14 feet.
14? Yeah.
Make sure one.
Got to stay under that 14.2 in Michigan.
Yeah.
14.2 is awfully low for an Escort, you know?
No, it's 14.6 now.
I thought it was 14.2.
I think it's 14.6 now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I would check it and make sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Because I got hit at a scale for it.
I'm gonna check it again one time just to make
I was all worried about width one time, not paying any attention whatsoever to the height. I get to the scale and the guy's like, "You're supposed to have an Escort." I'm like, "What?"
That's good stuff, man.
Right.
I wanted to say me.
Ah, he's headed up to Canada with that thing, right across Detroit, right across Windsor. He said it's 14 foot tall. He's gonna measure it right now again, just to be 100% sure he's 14 foot tall. I told him to check it, make sure, because Michigan's pretty low for their Escort requirement. So he's gonna do that. Anyways, we got that chain. The only catch about this chain, so what we got for securement is the two chains up front, two chains in the back, and then that last chain going across the boom, which I told you is pointless, but it meets the DOT requirements, and it also gives us a little additional securement, not that we needed it. We have four half-inch chains at 11,000 pounds each, so we got 44,000 pounds of securement right there. This chain, I actually threw one of my 3/8 chains across this because it happened to be there. It was a little easier to throw. So I threw one of my 3/8 chain. We only get 6,500 pounds credit for that chain. But again, we don't need it because we got 44 on that. The 65, we're over 50,000 pounds worth of securement holding in a load that's 47. We only have to have 50% of the load covered for securement. So we are way good with chains and binders here with securement, and we are going to, as soon as the sun decides to come up just a little bit, we're gonna get on the road and get out of here. Technically, sunrise is 7:29, so technically we can leave here at 6:59. So that's probably right about now. A couple of my boys came pick me up for dinner last night. A couple friends of mine. One of them is sitting right over there. That dump truck. If you see that Swift truck right next to that Swift truck, and there's an empty spot, and then that truck over there, that's Mr. Midget right there. We did run into a hard worker yesterday on the road too. Now we are going to get rolling.